Hello, people. Hello. Los is live. First, I would like to thank my loyal subscribers, followers that watch and support me at the Blue Space, people, at the W Sports at the Blue Space. We give it to you all. We give you NBA pregame, postgame, NFL pregame, postgame, Major League Baseball, boxing, MMA, college football, college basketball. We also give you exclusive interviews with Chicago legends, Chicago high school legends, sports players. We also give you current and former NBA, NFL. This is what we do at Eddie W Sports, people. Thank you again. Without you, there is no show. This is the people show, your show. Thank you again, people, for your support. Like, subscribe, share. Today, I have an Eddie W correspondent, people. Happens to be my brother. We call him Telly. We are the West Boys, people, the West Boys. The West Boys will give you shows, exclusive shows. Cartel Telly is also the president of our organization. One team, one plan, one brand, where we're trying to mentor the youth in the Chicagoland community. I'm going to let Tell give you a little more information about our organization because he is the president.
Well, this is a sports show, so I won't get too deep into what we do, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to save our youth. Here in Chicago and pretty much around the country, it's just getting crazy out here. Every day I got the Citizen app on my phone. Every day you see a shooting. Every day you see a killing, multiple times a day. So we have multiple programs, sports programs, mentoring programs, foreign language programs, all type of programs to basically give our kids hope. You see that? Can you go over to the picture with the number 1 on the back? The ones on the back of our t-shirt, that means we're all number 1. Our kids are stars. So we're making them stars. They have to feel like they're stars. They have to feel like they have hope. Because without, there you go. You see those one, our kids are stars, people. They're stars. Without hope, there's nothing. That's why everything is happening out here in these streets. These kids don't have any hope. So I won't get too deep into it. Let's do your show, bro.
And to my brother's point, people, check the website out. One team, one plan, one brand.org, people. Again, one team, one plan, one brand.org. We have Facebook and YouTube also.
And
Instagram. Let's talk football rankings, people. Let's start with the NFC. In the NFC, in first place currently are the Cowboys in the NFC 7-4. The Cardinals are 9-2. The Packers are 9-3. And the Buccaneers are 8. No, I'm giving the rankings in the division.
Oh, okay. Why'd you give your Cowboys first? Why did you say Arizona is better than the Cowboys?
I started with the NFC East. The East, the West, the North, and the South. The star is only one star. That's us.
What was the last Super Bowl y'all won?
1995.
Okay. He gets some of me, people, about my Broncos. He gets some of me all the time about my Broncos. Right?
Yes.
Now, we might not be the very best football team this year, but our organization is just as good as what he says. He calls it the D. Look at, you see the horse? We're the real D. How many Super Bowls have the Cowboys been to? 8. How many Super Bowls have the Broncos been to? 8, people. He didn't know that. 8.
How many
now they've won 5 and we won 3. But
what's better, 5-3 or 3-5? Tell the people.
Well, tell the people, have you all won one in this decade? In this century, in 2020, into the 2000s?
I might have to put you on my Cowboy show.
We have won. We've been to 2 Super Bowl in the 2000s. We won 1. We've won 3 Super Bowls since the Cowboys have won a Super Bowl. Those are the real numbers, people. So don't let them fake you out. Those are the real numbers.
It's only one star. That's us.
Go ahead with your story. Go ahead.
In the NFC, we're going to start. I already gave you the division winners. Let's start with my worst team in the NFC, which is 16, are the Detroit Lions.
The worst franchise in the history of sports.
They play in the NFC North, people. The Detroit Lions are absolutely, as my brother stated, the worst. The worst team in professional sports history.
I have a question. How can you be the worst sports franchise in the history of sports and have an owner named Fool? That's possible, people.
Yet they go to the games. I'm going to do a special show for the Detroit Lions fans to explain to you why you are the worst. Last week, people, I had you 16. This week, you will be 16. The week after, you will be 16. But every week, people, guaranteed the Lions are 16. Number 15, the Seattle Seahawks. Last week, I had the Bears. Why are the Seahawks 15? They are 3-8, people. They are in absolute turmoil. They have no offensive line. Russell Wilson doesn't look good out there. The only thing I see is Metcalf. The defense is average at best, is not the least in the boom. Any comments on the Seahawks?
You moved them above the Bears? You think the Bears are a better football?
I don't think the Bears are better, but right now the Bears are 4-7 because they beat the hapless Lions.
I think Russell Wilson is kind of giving up on his team. He really didn't want to stay with the Seahawks this year. He might be in orange and blue next year.
That'll be an upgrade.
A major upgrade.
Number 14, last week I had the Giants. This week are the Bears. The Bears, you're usually down at the bottom. You've moved over the Seahawks. You beat the Lions. You are 4-7. Don't push it, Bear fans. Don't make me do a video. Don't push it.
The Bears get 3 wins a year.
Usually they get more than that.
I'm gonna tell you the guaranteed Bear wins every year. The 2 wins, the 2 games that they played in Detroit because they're in the same division.
Yes.
And the bye.
The bye.
And the bye win. Those are your 3 wins, people. Those are your 3 wins.
Number 13 are the Giants. Last week I had the Seahawks. The Giants have moved to 13. I don't understand what's going on with getting the Danny Jones. They call him Danny Dime. I call him Danny Penny. He's not the answer. The Giants made a mistake making trades to get him. What's your opinion on the Giants?
I'm hoping that they feel that they got to give this guy 1 more year because I want my Broncos to draft a quarterback the next year, and they're going to actually have a worse record than we will. So I'm hoping that they just try to give Danny Penny 1 more shot. Because I want my Broncos need to draft a quarterback, people. Even if we get a quarterback in free agency, we need to draft a quarterback. So they need to give Alliday the ball. I don't understand it. I don't understand.
Well, they got Garrett out of there.
Yeah.
For Dallas, he should have been gone years ago. Number 12, I have the Panthers. They were 9th last week. They are not now 12th. Why are they 12th? They got hammered at Miami. They thought Cam was the answer. Now we understand why Belichick got rid of Cam.
Yeah.
Look terrible out there. McCaffrey can't stay healthy. Right now, I got him at 12. What's your opinion with the?
I like that. Cam, he'd probably be without a job in a couple of weeks. I mean, he just doesn't look like the same Cam. I never actually liked Cam as a quarterback. He was more an athlete as opposed to a quarterback. McCaffrey, I loved him coming out of college.
He got him to the Super Bowl though.
But athleticism. But as far as you saw, he just got hammered by my Broncos. But just McCaffrey, I loved him coming out of college. I actually wanted my Broncos to draft. I think we got Chubb in that draft.
I don't remember.
But he's like Carlos said, he just can't stay healthy. So any running back that can't stay healthy, and I think he's up for a contract either this year or next year. I can't call it. Good, that's a good one right there.
Number 11. Last week was the Washington football team. This week is the Philadelphia Eagles. Why? Because you can't beat the New York Giants. You cannot beat the Giants, people. You lost to the Giants. Your receiver, Rager, the same receiver that you drafted instead of Justin Jefferson. Rager dropped two key receptions. The Eagles are 11, people. I dropped them from 8 to 11. What's your opinion, Kelly?
That's a good assessment. I don't see how my Broncos lost to them last week. If you look at my Broncos wins this year, we've actually beat the teams we should have beat, with the exception of them. And I do not understand how we didn't beat them. We won. Let's go to the record, people. We beat those hapless Giants week 1. We beat the Jaguars week 2. We beat the Jets week 3. The Ravens game, that's a game realistically we're supposed to lose. The next game was the Steelers. At the beginning of the year, people didn't really know Roethlisberger was done the way he was. We really shouldn't have lost that game, but we lost it. Then we lose to the Raiders. I mean, that's a division game. We're gonna beat them this next game. Then we lost to the Browns. We beat Washington. Who did we beat the week after Washington? Who did we thrash the week after Washington? Those Cowboys. We thrashed those Cowboys.
We haven't got to Denver yet.
No, but I'm just saying. So then we lost to the Eagles.
We get the point.
So you get the point. We beat the teams we were supposed to beat. The Eagles, y'all just didn't. When y'all beat us, and y'all beat us pretty handily, I thought that y'all were just really good because our defense is really good. But then I just saw the showing that you guys put on this week. Hopeless, pathetic. Good pick.
Number 10. Last week I had the Saints. This week I had the Falcons, people. The Falcons beat the terrible Jacksonville Jaguars. They're number 10. They do have the rookie tight end, Pitts. Number 10. Number 9. Last week I had the Panthers. This week are the Saints, who my Cowboys are about to play tonight, who my Cowboys should smash.
Your Cowboys.
No reason, no excuse for us to lose to the Saints tonight.
You got Cooper back. You got Lamb back.
Lawrence. We'll talk about that more on the Cowboy pregame show, people. Number 8. Last week was the Eagles. They dropped to 11. This week I have the Washington football team. The Washington football team is playing better football. They beating Tampa lately.
Yep.
They had a big week last week. Washington is playing better, people.
Their quarterback plays within the system.
What do you think about Washington? They beat Seattle. I told the people on the pregame show Sunday that they would beat Seattle. The offense really didn't look that great, but the Seattle's offense is finished. They squeaked by Seattle. I got them at 8. Number 7. Last week I had the Niners. This week I have the Vikings. The Vikings have talent. Justin Jefferson. Cook, who got hurt. Cousins is the average quarterback. Thielen. Smith on the defense. They have a couple of pieces on defense. Patrick Peterson. It's just something about.
They have coaching too.
Zimmer. What is your opinion about the Vikings?
Quarterback. The Vikings will never be a Super Bowl contender with Cousins. He will make the big mistake. You can count on. You can bet your bottom dollar. He will make that big mistake. You can have a game managing quarterback, but you can't have a game managing quarterback that is going to eventually make that mistake.
He sure made him Sunday
and
against the Niners.
And he makes. So you can, I mean, they'll always at best be a little above average team, but and in a conference, you know, they'll probably make the playoffs, but they won't go.
So last week the Niners was 7, the Vikings was 6. I flip-flopped them this week. Now the Vikings are 7, the 49ers are 6. Because simply, people, they beat the Vikings. The 49ers look much better. Unfortunately, Deebo Samuel got hurt. Werner got hurt, the linebacker. The 49ers people can be a problem because they play power. They can run the ball. They got some good receivers. Kittle, one of the best tight ends. Yep. And Shanahan, the son of your former Denver Bronco great.
Is a genius.
You talk more about.
Shanahan is one of the best coaches, probably the top 5 coach in the league. He coaches defense. They're making really, really good plays on defense. Like he said, they're a power running football team. Actually, Deebo, he killed my fantasy team last week. Almost no catches, but they did these little run plays. So he ended up like getting these 2 touchdowns on like little trick plays, killing me.
They also like to jet sweep people with Deebo. Yeah. Deebo is like a running back. When he get Deebo, people is Deebo Samuel. When he gets the ball, you can throw it to him short, deep, hits. He can run the whole tree route, and you can just give him jet sweeps.
Yep. So that's a good pick.
5-1 didn't change, people. Last week I had the Rams. This week I keep the Rams at 5. I'm worried about the Rams because the injury to their receiver is hurting them.
I think that was really hurting the Rams is Stafford's play. I'm actually shocked that Stafford, in my opinion, is a really, really good quarterback. He's been making really, really bad mistakes over the last 3 weeks. I think he threw a pick 6 in the last 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. So he's really, really hurting his team. I don't think he's kind of used to, well, I know he's not used to playing with the Detroit Lions. He wasn't used to winning. So they were winning, he was playing good, and winning and playing good. But he didn't have to like show this effort for 16 games every year prior to this year.
That's why they went to get Beckham. But Woods is like his safety blanket.
Okay.
And I think that's taken away from Cooper Kupp because I think the teams are rolling the coverage towards Cooper Kupp. So Beckham is going to have to step up. Yeah. They got Henderson is all right running the ball. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We'll see. Number 4, I have my Cowboys. I don't like how my Cowboys are playing lately. Absolutely. Defense looked terrible against the Raiders. That we're not playing Tom Brady, people. That's unacceptable. That didn't happen against Aaron Rodgers. Carr's a good quarterback. Just foolish mistakes. We lead the lead in penalties, lead the lead in penalty yards. That's not going to win playoff games, people. What's your take on Dallas?
2 weeks ago, I had Dallas going to the Super Bowl. I mean, they were playing lights out. I love Parsons. He's like one of the. I actually wanted him. I remember right before the draft, I was telling you, well, you already knew about him, but I preached that Parsons, this linebacker kid, Carson. What's his name? First name, Carson Parsons.
Who?
Parsons. What's his first name?
It slipped.
It slipped my mind. I wanted him over Surtain. Although Surtain, he's playing lights out, but. What I just saw over the last couple of weeks, the defense just doesn't look like the dominant unit that they looked like 3 weeks prior, for the previous 3 weeks prior. Dak was missing. Now, I will give the Cowboys some slack. Dak was missing Lamb. He missed the last game because of COVID. Last 2 games, I'm sorry.
Not COVID. Lamb had a concussion. Cooper had COVID.
Cooper had
He
COVID.
missed the last 2 games.
So, you got, that's like, Tampa Bay, I won't say, well, Tampa Bay, they have Brady, but that's like Mahomes being without Kelsey and Hill. He's not going to be the same quarterback. So people trying to ride Dak, he didn't have his receivers. So I think the Cowboys are going to be back. Quiet as kept. I talked about the Cowboys a little bit, but quiet as kept, the Cowboys have become secretly my second favorite team of football.
See what the star does? See? what the star does.
But it's really, I mean, they were kind of always. My parents were Cowboy fans. My brother was a Cowboy fan. I became a Denver Bronco fan. I don't know if you remember this. 1979, our parents took us to the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to root for the same team as my brother. So I chose the Broncos because of their helmet. That was pre-Elway, so I didn't become a bandwagon fan. But that's how I chose the Broncos. At that time, you remember who my other team was?
The Cincinnati
Bengals. I chose two teams. But the Cowboys, going back to this year, the Cowboys.
Number 3 is Tampa. They look good against Indy. The defense forced, I think, 4 turnovers. Tampa's number 3. What's your thoughts on Tampa?
Tampa, I think the NFC Championship game is going to be Tampa and Dallas. I honestly do. I don't think Brady, it doesn't matter how well the team is going to be playing at the end of the year. Once he gets them into the playoffs, which he will, I don't think they're going to lose. Maybe they might lose. If they get into the playoffs, when they get into the playoffs, they're going to be in the NFC Championship.
Packers and Bucks, tough. Well, I mean, Packers and Cardinals.
Yeah.
Number 2, we have the Packers. Aaron Rodgers on an injured toe. The running back is out. They still hammered the Rams. What's your take on the Green Bay?
Aaron Rodgers, I was praying that he was going to become a Denver Bronco this year. And it just didn't come into fruition. I love him. He is a gamer. He makes plays. He's just phenomenal, people. I do think that at the end of the year, you know, they were one play away from the Super Bowl last year, but I honestly do believe that the Cowboys are going to make that jump to a Super Bowl team. I think that the Cowboys are going to be in that game. I truly believe that Tom Brady is going to be in that NFC Championship game, which will knock out both the Bucks and the Cardinals.
We just got to see how the seasons come.
That's very true.
Number 1, I had the Arizona Cardinals. The reason I have the Cardinals, people, the Cardinals are 9-2. One of those games they lost without Kyler Murray. They've beat the 49ers. They beat multiple teams without Murray. That means this team's a good football team, people. I love the defense. They got Jones on the getting to the quarterback off the edge. Buda Baker on the back end. I like this Cardinal team. This Cardinal team is dangerous. What's your thought on the Cardinals?
I don't see any weaknesses with the Cardinals. I just think that when the playoffs come and those really, really big lights, it'll be Colin Murray's first time, you know, really, really under the spotlight. You looking at Rodgers, you looking at Brady, you looking at Prescott. All 3 have more like experience, more playoff experience, with the exception of Prescott. But,
yeah.
But, you know.
He's played in the playoffs a couple times.
Oh. But I truly think that this year, I think next year will be the Cardinals' year. They are the best team in football right now. Bar none, they're the best team in football. But when the playoffs start, I think they'll get knocked out.
That's the NFC, people. Let's go to the AFC where your Broncos are at. Last week I had the Jets at 16. This week I had the Texans. It's this simple, people. The Jets beat the Texans. So the Texans go to last, the Jets go to 15. So those are 2 teams covered, the Texans and the Jets. I mean, the Texans are 16. The Jags go to 15. The Jets move up because they beat the Texans. I don't want to stay on those 3 teams. Texans 16, Jags 15, Jets 14. Those 3 were the worst 3 last week. They'll be the worst 3 the rest of the year. Last week I had Dolphins at 13. The Dolphins are 13 this week, even though they had a big victory last week against the Panthers. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on the Dolphins?
I'm not a Tua fan. He's going to get broke every year. He's not the answer at quarterback, but they're going to be behind. They'll be a better team, a better seed, a worse seed, I should say. They're going to have a better record than my Broncos. I'm not really worried about them.
I don't know. We'll see.
The Dolphins.
Right now, the Dolphins right now.
But they're winning.
5-7.
They're winning.
Y'all just can't. Y'all 6-5. Yeah. That's 2 game difference.
Yeah, that is true. I just hope that they believe in Tua enough to at least try to wait him out one more year.
Number 12 last week, I had your Broncos. This week, I had the Steelers. People, when we do our pregame show, I told you I was not a believer in the Steelers. The Steelers are the worst team in that division, which happens to be the AFC North. Big Ben is finished. The defense is the strong point. They didn't look good. I really knew it was a problem, people, when the Chicago Bears scored 27 points against them. And now it's starting to show up. They got absolutely pounded by the Cincinnati Bengals. That game was over at halftime, people. I think it was 35. They actually got shellacked. Any thoughts on the Steelers? Number 11. Last week I had the Raiders. This week I have Cleveland. They have good running game. Hunt.
They have an all-around good roster with the exception of Baker.
He's not the answer.
He's not the answer.
They just don't score the ball. Yep. That's number 10 last week. I had number 11 last week. I had the Raiders. This week, like I said, I had the Browns. 10 last week, I had the Steelers. This week, I have the Colts. The Colts lost to a very good Tampa team, but I'm a believer in this Colts football team. I'm a believer in the running back, Jonathan Taylor. I think Wentz is back with his quarterback coach, the coach of the Colts. This team can be a problem. They have defense, people. Don't sleep on the Colts. Any opinion on the Colts?
I agree. They have a beast of a running back, in that guy Jonathan. Their defense plays good. They play good fundamental ball. I'm still not sold on Wentz like you are. He is back with his quarterback coach, but he just seems to make mistakes at inopportune moments. Because you can make a mistake in football, but don't make it when you're like down at the last 5 minutes. You finally throw an interception. You haven't thrown an interception all game, and then you're trying to drive to at least tie the game or take over the lead or whatever, and then you throw that big mistake, and that's been his career.
That's what he does. Number 9 this week I had the Chargers. Last week I had the Browns. I had the Chargers at 4 last week. They dropped to 9 because they took an absolutely physical pounding to the Broncos. They got pounded, people. The Chargers are now 6-5. Your thoughts on the Chargers?
We just outright manhandled them. In every aspect of that game, offense, defense, special teams, running the ball. It was just power football left, power football right. Our cornerbacks played well. I was actually shocked that Surtain was able to shut down that field like that. I mean, he was out there balling like we drafted him to do.
Yes, he did.
So
2 interceptions, 1 to the house.
Yep. It was a beautiful week.
Number 8 are the Raiders. Last week I had the Raiders 11. Well, why are the Raiders 8? Because the Raiders beat the Cowboys, which are one of the top teams in the NFC. The Raiders move up to 8. They have, with the Henry Ruggs situation, the Gruden situation, the other corner from Ohio State, with the Facebook, with the weapons, but they look good. Deshaun Jackson came in and seemed like he's giving them momentum. What's your opinion on the Raiders?
The Raiders, I've actually always liked Carr. You called him an average to good quarterback. I think he's better than average. I think he's more on the level of a good quarterback. We have a frat brother and friend named Opio. He's a die-hard Raider fan, and he hates Carr. But I will tell you this: I would take Carr over Bridgewater any day.
I agree with that. Number 7. Last week I had the Colts. This week I have your Denver Broncos. Your Broncos are in the top 7, tell me. What do you think of 6-5? A 3-way tie. You got the Chiefs 7-4, the Chargers, Raiders, Broncos 6-5. Nobody can talk about the Broncos better than you, so I'm gonna let you talk about your Broncos.
I told you people at the beginning of the year, and me and Carlos made a bet.
You still need 4 more to 10.
I said that we were going to win 10 games.
At least
10 games, 10-7. We have a pretty favorable schedule. We play Kansas City this week, but outside of this game, and that just has become a pretty winnable game. Kansas City, they're not the powerhouse that everybody thought they were. So this now becomes a winnable game. So our defense is playing lights out.
You know that game is in Kansas City.
I know.
So you think that's a winning?
It's a winnable game.
You know you're gonna get pounded
It's
in
a
the Arrowhead.
winnable game.
You're gonna get pounded in the Arrowhead.
We are gonna play power football, and don't sleep. Courtland Sutton has not had a good game, a decent game, in 3 games. He just signed a big contract. They're gonna try. Somebody's gonna talk to Teddy Two Gloves and tell him to give him the damn ball, because he can make plays when he has his hands on the ball. Judy, oh, for the love of God, will you just throw the man is wide open. I've been watching games where the man is wide open and Bridgewater does not throw the ball to him. He's the best route runner in football behind Cooper this year in football.
Tell, they're playing better. This isn't the Elway years. This is Teddy Bridgewater. This isn't the Elway years.
You see the horse, people? You see the horse. This is what we're going to do. We're going to gallop into Kansas City. You see him? Just like the horse does. We're going to gallop. You see that, Elway? You see, this is will. That is will. That is what we need in our team. The will to win. And I'm giving us the will to win. We're going to go in there. You see, watch, just show it again. One more time. Watch Elway. You say that this isn't the Elway years, but watch it right there. He wanted that Super Bowl. He needed that Super Bowl, and God damn it, he got that Super Bowl. He got that Super Bowl. So we're gonna go into Kansas City.
That was 20 years ago.
We're gonna go into Kansas City. You heard it from Tell. We're going into Kansas City, and we're gonna upset the Chargers. I'm sorry, the Chiefs, just like we just upset the Chargers. You heard it from me first, people.
Number 6 this week, we had the Titans. Last week, we had the Bills. The Titans are 6. Without Henry, people, I'm worried about this football team. I'm worried about the Titans. The defense already in the strongest. They got pummeled in New England. The Titans are falling, people. I think the Colts have a chance to catch the Titans for that AFC South.
The Colts will catch the Titans this year. The Titans, without Henry, they are not a good football team. They cannot score the ball. They don't have, like, their running backs are nowhere near on the level that Henry was. Tannehill I can't even describe what I watched out of him. He threw, what was it, 4 or 5 interceptions last week? Mm. It was just like, what are you doing? Who are you looking at? He was throwing it directly to the defender. I didn't understand. So, I actually think that you might be wrong just listening to your rankings. The Titans, although they might have a better record, there are a couple teams below the Titans that should be above the Titans.
I just got them this week. Out of respect to that 8-4 record, I don't want to disrespect the people because it's the current power rankings. But they're on their way down. This is the current power rankings, people.
But power rankings are supposed to be given with the thought of what they're going to be doing this week and in the future. Not for what, like, let's say a team went 5-0 and then they lose the next 2 to, like, to the Detroit Lions, for an example.
We'll drop them.
They have to drop to the middle of a pack, even if a team, let's say 5-0, they lose 2, that's 7-5-2.
But out of respect, they have one of the best records in the league. That's why they're 6. I don't have them first, second, third. They're 6th.
I don't agree with that one. That's one of the first I don't agree with.
Number 5 are the Bengals. Last week, the Bengals were 8. This week, they're 5. The Bengals are an absolute offensive juggernaut.
Yes, they are.
They got Burrow quarterbacking.
Chase.
Jamar Chase, people, he's an all-star already. mixing in the backfield.
Carlos said at the beginning of the year that Chase is going to be better than Jefferson, and he was dead spot on with that prediction.
I watched him at LSU, people.
He is a beast.
When him and Jefferson played in college, Chase was the man. Chase was the number one option, and now that he's playing with Burrow, they already got the chemistry.
They had that chemistry.
This is a Jamar Chase, people. He's a player for the future. Jamar Chase, I tell you, people.
He's going to the Pro Bowl as a rookie. I mean, he's a beast. He is a beast.
And he can run all the route trees. People, what we mean by route tree. He can run the hitch. He can run the slant. He can run the go path.
He can run the out.
He's not scared to go run a shallow cross. Jamar Chase, people.
A drag.
A drag.
A drag.
I love that Chase kid. He's something special, people. Chase is something special.
Yes, he is.
Next, last week I had the Chargers at 4. They dipped to 9. This week I have Buffalo. They absolutely hammered the Saints in New Orleans on Thanksgiving. Buffalo looks like they're starting to get it together. The key with Buffalo, they got to get the running game together. Singletary, and get the tight end involved a little more. Coles, Beasley in the slot. They got Diggs. Good defense. What's your take on Buffalo?
Okay, my preseason prediction was Matt Jones is going to win Rookie of the Year, AFC Rookie of the Year. He plays for New England. This game is against New England. However,
Monday night.
However, I truly believe that Allen's going to step up for this game. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to pressure Matt Jones all game. I truly believe that they're going to try to prove, because they had about 2 games where they were kind of iffy. They were like, what are you doing, Josh Allen? Because I really wanted Josh Allen when the Broncos did pick him. But they're going to show up this week and show that at least this year, they're going to be the division winners in the AFC East.
Number 3, last week, I had the Patriots. This week, I had the Patriots. Judon on the defense. Great linebackers. The Patriots had one of the best defenses in football, people.
Yes,
the Patriots, and to my brother's point, go back to the pregame, Eddie W. pregame, NFL. Since week 1, early weeks, Telly did say that Matt Jones will win Rookie of the Year, and he thought that he had the potential to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and Matt Jones is proving it. I'm going to let you talk about the Patriots offense. I'll pretty much discuss the defense.
They have their offensive coach, Josh McDaniels, the guy that tried to ruin my Broncos as a head coach, but he's a hell of an offensive coordinator. He has this man playing lights out. His systems are beautiful. At the beginning of Tom Brady's career, and through maybe, before all of the Super Bowls or whatever, their offensive coordinators, it wasn't him, but their offensive coordinators always put them in their quarterback, Tom Brady at that time, and now Matt Jones, in good situations to be able to make good decisions. And that's what he is. He is better than a game manager. I've seen him make some really good throws, really good decisions. I just truly don't think that they're going to win this game. I think that the Bills are going to come out and really try to destroy him. But I will say I like them being at that job, because until you beat them, until the Bills come out and prove what they can do, or prove what I'm saying is going to happen, the Patriots are better than them.
To Telly's point, Matt Jones actually has better stats than Brady did in his first year, his first couple years. So they're actually trusting Matt Jones to throw the ball.
Yep.
And Matt Jones doesn't make mistakes.
He doesn't.
And Matt Jones has a pretty deep ball, people. I watched him last year when he hit Smith that's on the Alabama. Eagles from Bama.
Yeah.
He had Ruggs. He had a lot of weapons.
Yes, he did. He's a good quarterback.
The kid that's on the Dolphins. Waddle. So Jones people has a future. He done turned the ball over. Belichick might have found his next. I'm not gonna disrespect Tom Brady yet, but a potential good quarterback.
He will never be on the level of Tom Brady. That's the only person that has a chance to do that, and I don't think he'll get there is Mahomes. Out of like today's quarterbacks or whatever, but he is gonna be a really good quarterback. He's gonna win Rookie of the Year. He's gonna be in a few Pro Bowls. He's gonna be a play.
Number 2, I had the Ravens. Last week I had the Ravens. They beat the Bears on the road the week before without Lamar, and then they beat Cincinnati. The defense, the problem with the Ravens is the pass defense. The pass defense is one of the worst pass defenses in the league. They had some injuries in training camp. Lamar, though, is throwing better. They say Lamar couldn't throw the ball. Lamar's been very accurate this year. Hollywood Brown has stepped his game up. Of course, they got the tight end he feels comfortable with. Running game is Ravens because you got to watch out for Lamar, and then they power run the football with you. What's your opinion, Telly, of the Ravens?
The Ravens will be out of the playoffs first week. I completely disagree with Carlos's assessment of Lamar Jackson. In my opinion, he has not learned how to throw the football. In my opinion,
but the stats show.
No, what the stats show are incredible catches. The stats are like fooling us.
So you're telling us fools gold? Look at Lamar's numbers.
Look, I've watched him play over the last 3-4 weeks. As a matter of fact, I lost money on him the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I am done with him. I've watched him just miss open receivers. I've watched him they can't pass the ball. It might be a combination of just lack of receivers too, because honestly, the best receiver on that team is a tight end, Andrews. But I'm not sold on them. Their defense is not as dominant as years past. They won't be able to win this style of ball in the playoffs. Somebody's gonna put up some major numbers. And what I watched, not this last week, but the week before, when a team just basically stacked the line against him, and it was Tennessee. They just stacked the line against him and begged him to throw it at least 20 yards, and he did. I'm not sold on it at all.
And the number 1 team, last week I had the Chiefs, this week I had the Chiefs. The Chiefs people defense has stepped up the last 4 weeks. They still have Mahomes. They still have Kelsey. They still have Hill. The defense, they've been balling. Jones has been balling. The honey badger. Matthew. Give me your take on the Chiefs. They're in your division,
it
so
pains
you know
me
about
to say it. The Chiefs are still the best team in the AFC. It pains me to say it because they are in our division. I did predict that we're gonna beat the Chiefs this week. But until we do, and until the rest of the AFC basically, because Mahomes is playing much better than he was. He's not taking as many chances as he was. Their defense looks way better than it did for the first 5 or 6 weeks of this season. So until you beat them, they got to be the number 1 team in the AFC.
There it is, people. That's the power ranking show. The power ranking show. We gave you the NFC and the AFC, our power rankings, 1 through 16 in both conferences. We will be back with you next week, people, for the power rankings. Again, to the people, thank you. Thank you. Without you, there is no show. This is the people show. This is the Eddie W show. Like, share, subscribe. We the people. Tally's a Bronco fan. I'm a Cowboy fan. We watch all the games in the blue space, people. Go check out One Team, One Plan, One Brand. See what we're doing with the children, people. One Team, One Plan, One Brand.org. We love you all. Thank you for your support. We love you all. See you next week.